Maki? The fact is, she's a total weakling. She can't even see curses. She's just a normal person swinging around cursed tools. She'll be a 4th grade forever. I don't know why she's a jujutsu sorcerer at all. Okay, break's over.
I see. Well, that's a relief. Stupid Mai! This woman is no weakling! She's using a longer weapon, so I'd like to close the distance, but all I can do is dodge and parry her. If she were using the blade, he would have died twice. And she's only 4th grade? She could easily defeat 2nd grade cursed spirits.
What's up, friends? Senpai here, and last episode gave us some amazing fight sequences. Panda vs Mekamaru? That was so good, and that backstory hit way harder than I expected. Every character is getting their moment, and I love it. Now the spotlight might shift to Maki, who is clearly ready to throw hands. And I'm super curious to see more of a new Maki in action too. I have a feeling this episode is going to ramp up the intensity even more. Let's get into it.
And how was she able to swing such a long staff in this forest with so much stuff in the way? New shadow style. Simple domain. This allows me to attack anything that enters the 2.21 meter radius of my domain on full auto reflex. It's released if my feet move from the point where I activated it. Plus, my quick draw is specialized against head-on attacks. It's the fastest technique of the new Shadow School, wrapping my blade in cursed energy while it's in the sheath to accelerate it. But I don't think this will settle the match. I still have to create an opening first.
Yaiko, huh? Looks like she has some tricks too. But there's a difference in our reach. Rather than hit me, she wants to knock away my cursed tool and create an opening. So in that case...
She broke it? She's giving up her reach advantage? She threw it! A hidden weapon? She's trying to close the gap by using a decoy! My legs moved! But that's okay. I'll just pull back and draw her in close enough and then... Aikido? What a great move!
Pretty nice sword you got here.
Sword stealing? Give it back?
What an interesting girl. You should just go ahead and promote her to 2nd grade already.
Believe me, I feel the same way. But the Zenin clan keeps on interfering. I wish they would just change their position and accept her.
I can't understand such restraint unless it's money.
You're such a material girl. I'm more concerned about the way the coverage around Yuji keeps cutting out.
Animals can be fickle creatures, and sharing senses with them is tiring.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Which side are you on anyway, May?
Which side? I'm on the side of money, of course. There's no value to anything that can't be traded for money. If you can't make money with it, what good is it?
Just how much have you saved up? I don't know what the old man's planning, but I do know he won't find it that easy to deal with Yuji anymore.
During the intense fight with Maki, Miwa realized just how strong Maki truly was, so much stronger than what she had previously known. Miwa had once overheard Mai saying that Maki was weak, incapable of even perceiving curses. Mai had said that Maki could only rely on cursed tools to fight, as she couldn't sense or combat curses directly. Maki, according to Mai, had never been anything more than a grade 4 cursed sorcerer, someone who would never rise higher, who could never level up beyond the lowest ranks. Yet, when Miwa finally faced Maki in combat, the reality was so different that it left her stunned. In fact, Miwa's face turned a shade of green, her expression more pale than her own hair color. Despite being a grade 4 cursed sorcerer, Maki seemed anything but weak. Miwa had expected her to be sluggish, relying only on cursed tools and low-level techniques. But when they began to fight, It was as if Maki was a completely different person, faster, stronger, and far more skilled than anyone could have imagined. Miguel, who had also been watching, believed that Maki could easily defeat a Grade 2 curse, her technique so refined that she could easily navigate any obstacles, even in challenging terrain. It was obvious that Maki wasn't the weakling Miwa had thought she was. Miwa, unwilling to accept the realization that she was outmatched, attempted to use her own techniques to compensate. To keep Maki at bay, she activated her Dao Sound Flow Simplified Domain, a special technique that created a barrier around her. Miwa's domain would automatically attack anyone who entered her territory, which had a radius of about 2.21 meters. But Miwa knew there was a catch.
Ooh! They're on the move!
The cursed spirits released in the area all have charms on them. So when one disappears, the corresponding charm here in the viewing area is extinguished. Every charm is extinguished differently, according to the registered cursed energy. When the Tokyo school exercises one, it burns red. When the Kyoto school exercises one, it burns blue. Since Maki is here, charms extinguished by unregistered energy burn red as well.
Well, it's 1-to-1. So how come no one's paying attention to the game?
Why can't both sides just try being nice to each other?
Guess they're all too much like you.
My only problem is you.
For the record, it was Panda who took out Mekamaru.
Come down here, you goddamn witch!
I've come down there a few times already. Maybe you ought to try and catch me. First year!
Your cursed energy wind is like a hurricane. It's full of rocks and branches. If I drop my guard, it'll rip my flesh. You dare damage my precious face?
A scar on the face is a badge of honor for a man. Though it's just an ugly flaw on a woman.
Huh?
You think jujutsu sorcery is just strength.
That's because it is.
That's only true for the men, though.
What do you mean?
Even if they're strong, women have to be cute, too, or they'll be undervalued. And of course, even if they're cute, they'll still be undervalued, unless they're also strong. Do you get it? They don't demand strength from female jujutsu sorcerers. They demand perfection. And what's worse, Mai has to fight against demands that are even more outrageous.
One thing that I do get is that you are a pain in the ass!
She's only a first year and she's already this accustomed to fighting? She's still going strong no matter how many times I blast her.
That was nothing. I'm used to getting knocked around.
If I up my output any further, I might kill her. No, that's just an excuse. The real reason I can't attack her is Inumaki.
What is cursed speech? It just uses the power of words. It imbues cursed energy into sound, so all you have to do is to protect your brain and your ears with cursed energy. Cursed speech is a specialized technique for use against cursed spirits, and it's nothing to be afraid of if you know it's coming.
Yes, but if you don't know whether it's coming or not, then you're constantly distracted. And I'm not used to protecting the inside of my head in the first place.
If her feet left the original position, the domain would deactivate and become useless. Not wanting to be defeated, Miwa also used a close-range technique called the battering blade, a high-speed strike that was her fastest attack in the Dao Sound Flow arsenal. She surrounded her blade with cursed energy to enhance its speed, even while the sword was still sheathed. However, it soon became clear to Maki that something was amiss. Maki recognized that Miwa was targeting her cursed tool, likely trying to find a weakness in her defense. Sensing this, Maki immediately destroyed her cursed tool and threw the broken pieces at Miguel, including hidden weapons that Miwa had no way of countering. Miwa tried to take advantage of the situation, but Maki was too skilled and quickly closed the gap, forcing Miwa to step out of her original position. As soon as Miwa moved, her domain was deactivated, leaving her vulnerable. As the battle continued, Maki didn't just overpower Miwa with raw strength. She also proved how far ahead she was in terms of technique and cunning. Maki seized the opportunity to disarm Miwa, taking her sword and leaving her in a vulnerable position. Miwa, having been taught that Maki was a weak and ineffective sorcerer, was in shock, her mind unable to process what was happening. Watching this spectacle from the sidelines was a woman with braided hair, who had been observing Maki's performance with keen interest. The braided-haired woman, Mei Mei, who was a Grade 1 cursed sorcerer, couldn't help but wonder why Maki wasn't promoted to Grade 2. Mei Mei, who had the ability to control crows, noticed that some of the crows filming the battle were hers. She was intrigued by the way Maki had been.
He's such a nuisance whether he's here or not.
Done lecturing? About time!
Even perfection is easy. Compared to what's always been demanded of Mai. She's from one of the 3 major clans of elite jujutsu sorcerers. The Zenin clan, where perfection's expected and demanded. They say inherit the Zenin clan's hereditary technique, and any who don't meet that demand start their sorcerer lives as failures. What's even worse, women aren't even allowed to stand at the starting line. Without the Zenin clan lineage, they're not considered to be real jujutsu sorcerers. And if they're not considered to be jujutsu sorcerers, they're not even recognized as people. She's lived her entire life scorned, in a family without a shred of affection. The suffering Mai went through to experience what we all take for granted. Why don't you try thinking that over with that confused brain of yours? You have a curse for a friend.
Shut up. You think misfortune is a free pass to do anything? What then? You're okay with those who are blessed getting trash talked behind their backs? That's just like Saori. I can't stand her, regardless of her upbringing. And I love Maki, who had to endure the same upbringing. Have any of you even bothered to think about what kind of person the idiot you're trying to curse is? What makes you think any one of us is obligated to attain perfection or such absurd demands? Is your entire life just a job? Straw doll, hairpin technique!
This must be why she kept shooting those nails that didn't land any hits. You came close, but you still couldn't reach me!
Wrong. I reached you all right. This is plenty.
A bristle from my broom? She pulled it out just now.
I don't give a damn about your men are this and women have to be that. You can keep all that shit to yourself. I love myself when I'm pretty and all dressed up. And I love myself when I'm kicking ass! I am Nobara Pugisaki!
I can't control my broom!
Performing and wanted to know why such a talented sorcerer wasn't being recognized by her peers. The teacher, who had been standing nearby with a blindfold, explained that Maki's family was the reason for this. They kept obstructing her progress, refusing to acknowledge her true potential. According to the teacher, Maki's family didn't see her abilities because they were too proud and stubborn to admit she was stronger than they had ever realized. The teacher also mentioned that it was hard to understand why Dewey D's performance had been interrupted. Mei Mei explained that it was due to the erratic nature of animals, specifically her crows, whose temperaments could be unpredictable. The blindfolded teacher, who was still puzzled by Mei Mei's motives, asked which side she was on. Mei Mei, with her usual nonchalant attitude, replied that she was on the side of money. To her, things that couldn't be exchanged for money were worthless, making her seem like a mercenary figure. The teacher, however, suspected that Mei Mei had an understanding of the Kyoto principal's plans. It was clear to him that Yuji wouldn't be easy to deal with, especially given the complicated circumstances surrounding him. Meanwhile, Nobara, who had been battling with Momo, was growing increasingly frustrated. Momo kept flying high in the air, making it difficult for Nobara to land a single blow. Momo, who seemed to be toying with Nobara, used her cursed energy to infuse her broom with strength, striking Nobara square in the face. The hit sent a wave of anger through Nobara, as she despised being hit in the face, especially in a place where women, in particular, hated to be marked by any kind of imperfection. Momo, who was clearly enjoying the situation, taunted,
If I hit her with my hammer, I might kill her. So...
A squeaky hammer?
Now, one more time!
Just barely within effective range. And just in time. One hell of a shot. Hello, Momo? Don't worry, it was a rubber bullet. More important, wasn't that bright light Mechamaru's ultimate cannon? And now, all of a sudden, I can't get a hold of him. If he felt cornered enough to use such a powerful technique, and now he's missing, then he probably lost, and Panda's still around. You should get out of there and go back to patrolling from the air. Without you, we're all in trouble.
Hey,
It's okay, Momo. I understand.
thanks.
What's this? Aren't you gonna call your friends? Well, it's fine by me. I can still take you, even 2-on-1.
There are lots of different ways to enjoy this, right? Sure, I could have everyone beat you together, but I'm going to enjoy beating you by myself.
You ought to call me Big Sis, little sister. So hey, how do you feel about Maki?
She's gonna hate it no matter what I say!
I think she's a smart and wonderful woman.
Huh? I'm talking about as a sorcerer.
Oh, really? What a relief. To be honest, I still don't know all that much about jujutsu. But Maki's really strong in a fight. Maybe it's her balance. Even just the way she walks is scary.
Don't forget, she's a 4th grade.
Huh? Really?
She's from a famous sorcerer clan family. But she left them, and so they've been interfering with her promotion ever since she left.
Why is a sorcerer family not accepting of a sorcerer like her?
They refuse to acknowledge what they've already rejected, because they're idiots.
Still, if she does well in the event, and Maki's name starts to become better known, it's gonna be harder for them to harass her like that.
So let's start by winning the group battle, you guys! You have to fight like you're about to die all over again!
Right.
I can hear you, you know. Jeez. I should know better than to let myself get distracted like that.
Nobara, telling her that men with scars looked cool, but women with scars were considered flawed. Momo argued that women had to be perfect, especially in a profession like cursed sorcery. She pointed out that men were always given more respect for their strength, but women had to be more than just strong, they had to be perfect in every way. That was why she held Mai in such high regard. Mai had been through so many difficulties, and Momo admired her for how she had faced them all, standing tall despite the obstacles in her way. Nobara, however, was unbothered by Momo's words and firmly believed that not all misfortune deserved forgiveness. She argued that those who were more fortunate had to endure slander, something she thought Mai had to experience all her life. Nobara, with a sense of bitterness, found herself at odds with Momo, who she saw as the true troublemaker. In response, Nobara launched another attack at Momo, who was clearly taken aback by Nobara's skill. After all, she was only a first-year student. Momo hesitated, not sure whether she should use all her strength. She had been concerned about Noritoshi's method of countering her abilities. If she could protect her head and ears with cursed energy and time her attacks right, she wouldn't have much to fear. But the uncertainty of when Tohei would appear kept her on edge. Despite her concerns, she remained cautious, unsure of what to expect from Nobara. As Nobara continued her relentless assault, all of her attacks missed, landing on nearby trees instead. Momo, while dodging Nobara's attacks, continued to talk about Mai's struggles within her family. The Genin clan, one of the three most powerful families, was an elite clan that demanded perfection. Momo
What are you smiling about? So what if she hides out of sight? Are you just trying to gain distance? Well, that won't work. Shit. From below? I should have known. Maki has a talent I don't.
So have you heard about Ogi's daughters? One of them can't even see curses, much less use techniques.
Twins are always a sign of ill fortune.
Thank heaven they're daughters, at least. I couldn't bear to see an eldest son as a lowly servant.
Mai, what's the matter with you? Let's go, hurry up. I'm afraid. Afraid of what? Come on, if we're late again, we'll get in trouble. It's them. Again? All right, I'll help you out.
Are you?
Come on, just close your eyes. If you can't see them, it's like they're not even there.
You always acted like you had no fear. And plowed forward towards your future. I always hated you for that.
So you're leaving the clan, Maki?
You seem to have plenty of servants around. I doubt you'll miss me at all. But I do intend to return someday, clan leader.
Why would you return?
So I can become the head of the Zenin clan!
Well, if that's the case, I'll put you through ordeals you'll be lucky to survive.
You can do as you please.
And Mai as well.
Mai's not involved in this.
What a liar. I hate you.
explained that anyone who could not inherit their techniques was considered an outcast. It was especially hard for women, who were not given the same opportunities as men. From the beginning, they were forced to submit to the clan's rules, always striving for perfection. Despite the hardships, Maki had managed to stand out and earn Momo's respect. Momo even advised Nobara to think about Mai's sacrifices and the struggles she had faced within her family, challenges that Nobara could never fully understand. Nobara, however, was growing more irritated by Momo's words. She wasn't interested in hearing about the hardships of others. She believed that misfortune didn't always lead to redemption and that those who were fortunate had to bear the brunt of others' criticisms. Mai and Maki, despite coming from the same background, were completely different people. Nobara admired Maki for her strength and resilience, but she despised Mai for being so caught up in her own suffering. Nobara confronted Momo, demanding to know if she even understood what kind of person Yuji was. Without waiting for an answer, Nobara unleashed her cursed technique, causing a large explosion to erupt from the ground. Momo, realizing what had happened, understood why Nobara had missed her earlier attacks. The explosion had disrupted everything, giving Nobara the upper hand. Despite this, Momo didn't back down. She continued to fly around, using her cursed energy to create a cursed bullet. The process of creating the bullet was exhausting, draining her cursed energy significantly. However, she could only create one bullet per day, as doing so was taxing on her body. Still, she believed she could outlast Nobara, who seemed to be struggling with her own limitations.
ever told you about my first love or about my technique.
Construction uses one's cursed energy to create matter from nothing. It differs from the manifestation of an innate domain within the barrier of a domain expansion. The matter produced by construction doesn't disappear when the curse technique ends. Because of that, it consumes a lot of cursed energy and puts a heavy strain on the body. Creating 1 bullet a day is Mai's maximum. So she uses a revolver to create confusion about how many bullets she has left.
I win. I win. She caught the bullet?
I should never do that with my bare hands.
Maki has a talent I don't. Like Megamaru, she has a heavenly pact, but hers is somehow different. Normally, she would have been born with a curse technique. But in exchange for that, she was granted superhuman physical abilities. The Zenin clan would never acknowledge it. That this was a talent that I lacked.
Well, what now? Is this settled then?
Why did you leave the clan?
Come on! You know the answer to that. You joined Jujutsu High too.
Wrong! I never wanted to be a Jujutsu sorcerer. It's all your fault. Because you tried so hard to be one, I was forced to follow in your footsteps. I'm so sick of facing all these scary things. What was so awful about being ordered around back home? We could have just done a few chores and lived like everyone else does. Why couldn't you have just stayed and been satisfied down at the bottom with me?
But just as Momo thought she had the advantage, Maki easily caught the cursed bullet with her bare hands. Momo was furious, frustrated that her plan had been foiled so easily. In a rage, she attacked Maki with everything she had, but once again, Maki was too powerful. Maki had already shown that she was the superior fighter. Even though she couldn't perceive curses, her physical strength and natural talent made her nearly unbeatable. Mai, who had been watching from the sidelines, couldn't help but feel a twinge of jealousy. She knew that Maki had something she didn't, a talent that the Genin clan refused to acknowledge. Mai resented Maki for not sharing the same struggles as she did. Mai had spent her life fighting against the odds, but Maki had always been able to rely on her physical abilities and the strength of her spirit. Mai finally admitted to herself that Maki had succeeded where she had failed. Mai's inner conflict continued to grow. She had always believed that being a cursed sorcerer meant enduring hardship, but Maki had shown her that it was possible to be strong without having to suffer. The resentment and bitterness that Mai had felt toward her older sister only deepened. Despite everything, Maki had never given up on her. But Mai, in her anger, only saw Maki as a reminder of everything she had never been able to achieve. In the end, Maki's strength was undeniable, but it wasn't just her power that set her apart. It was her determination, her ability to rise above the expectations of others, and her refusal to be held back by the limitations placed upon her by her family. This was what made her truly formidable, and it was why even those who had once underestimated her were forced to acknowledge her strength.
Because I would have hated myself if I had done that. That's why. I'm sorry.
Big sister, don't let go. I won't let go. You never will. Jeez, give it a rest. Never leave me behind. Of course I won't. After all, we're sisters.
What a liar. I hate you.
Choo-choo stroll. so hungry. Fortunately, I think my leftover edamame from lunch is still in the fridge. Sorry.
You can at least try to look a little guilty.
As a token of my apology, have this.
No, I'm not interested in late night cup ramen.
How about this? Nishimiya style seafood cup ramen. Step 1. Use scissors to chop up hot chili peppers into the seafood cup ramen. 2. Fill the container halfway with milk. 3. Add hot water up to the line inside. Since we're using milk, make sure the water is boiling hot.
This is good. It's really good.
Right.
Maybe I'll have it next time, too.
Why didn't you eat this instead of taking my edamame?
Well, you still pay the price for late night cup ramen the next day.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Drop a comment too. I'd love to hear your thoughts and keep improving these reactions for you. See you next time.